I'm Liz, one of Esembly's co-founders and our lead designer, and I am here today to answer some questions about our newly launched inner ties and how they compare to our inner snaps. We've been getting lots of questions since we launched these earlier this week, and so we took a list down and I am here to answer them one by one for you. So the first question that we keep getting is, does the front slip down? So when you tie the tie, it's only these two tabs, and so nothing is holding this front piece in. But when you tie it, and we have done lots and lots of testing on this, both the texture of the cotton as well as the delicate tension of the tie pressed against the baby's body prevents it from slipping. And it was something that we actually worried quite a lot when we were first coming up with this design, and some early prototypes had like a little loop here that you had to loop both ties through and then tie. It was a little too cumbersome, and we found that without it, there was no slippage. So again, you're relying on the texture of the cotton as well as the gentle pressure from the tie, and I can promise you that it will not slip even on like toddlers that are crawling and walking around that are fully mobile. Not to mention that this also gets covered by the outer. So same as with our inner snaps, this is just the absorbent piece of the diaper. So in order to complete the diaper, you have to cover this up with the outer for waterproofing and containment. All right. Next question is, it seems like it will be impossible to tie on a squirmy baby or a toddler. I know it can seem that way, but actually we've done time trials with some of our testers. It takes about the same amount of time to snap the snaps as it does to tie. Really easy. Tying something is as intuitive as tying your shoes. It's something we all do quite frequently, and it's really easy to do even on babies that are 9-10 months old and at peak squiggle wiggle time on the changing table. How secure are the ties? Do I need to double knot them? No, definitely not. You don't want to double knot them. Just one simple bow, simple loop is all you need. And again, the tie itself is textured. It's not smooth and satiny. It's just woven 100% organic cotton. And so the texture of the cotton will hold the tie in place without any need for a double knot. When the tie is wet, is it difficult or gross to undo? So look, when you're diapering a baby, whether it's disposables, inner snaps, inner ties, pocket diapers, all-in-ones, whatever you're using, your hands will touch some pee-pee diaper at one point or another. Untying it when it is wet, totally easy. It comes right out. Again, you're not double knotting, you're just doing a simple tie. So not an issue at all when it's damp, when the diaper is fully saturated. And is it gross? I mean, I don't really find that you're touching the wetness any more so than you are when you're grabbing this tab and unsnapping. So I don't really think it's very much different. Does it make it uncomfortable for tummy time? I don't think so. That's a really good question, actually. But I'm sitting here feeling the center of the tied bow, and I wouldn't say it's any thicker than the two snaps together. It's really, in fact, it's a little bit trimmer than the two snaps. So if the baby is okay lying on the snaps during tummy time, I don't think there would be any reason that the tie would make it uncomfortable. Do the ties tangle in the wash? Most definitely not. We did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of loads of wash testing, and the ties do not tangle. They're not terribly long, and we've tested them in top loaders, front loaders, the dryer. We've washed as many as 50 together at once. Because this is a new fabric for us, our inner snaps are made of organic cotton twill, and this is made of organic cotton French terry. So we did hundreds and hundreds of wash tests in various types of hard water, soft water, with different detergents, all to make sure that the fabric itself held up. So through those wash tests, we were also able to test the ties. So one of the other questions that I saw on this list are, will the ties fall off, or will the ties break down and not last as long as the diaper itself? And again, the answer is no. These are stitched in really, really securely. And again, we've done about 6 months of testing prior to launching them. So the ties themselves will hold up long term, same as the snaps. And will it come off or break off? No. And will it tangle in the washer or dryer? No. Fit comparison on a newborn for the inner tie versus the inner snaps. So here you have the same size. We really did design these to be the same size. Like they both have the same weight ranges from 7 to 17 pounds for size 1 and from 18 pounds through potty training for size 2. They both fit under the outers, so the fit is the same. When we say the weight ranges for both styles of diaper, that's our recommended weight range, but babies come in all shapes and sizes. So if you have a baby that's particularly long and slender or squatter and juicier, you might size up or down earlier. You might size out a little bit earlier or a little bit later. So the weight ranges are recommendations. We do give the same weight recommendation for both styles of inner, and both styles of inner are designed to fit under the outer. So that's the same. Are the inner snaps less or thinner or less bulky than the inner ties? I want to say that I find the inner ties to be slightly trimmer than the inner snaps, but there's a caveat with that. The inner snaps are more structured. These are a little floppier just because of how the cotton is, and like when they open up, they're just like a little less, a little more like DIY, a little less structured, whereas this is what it is. The diaper is the shape that it's going to be going on your baby, and there's a little more structure there. So I find that maybe as the baby gets inches deeper into the weight range for the size, that this might end up being a little trimmer as the baby grows into that size. So for a newborn, I would say maybe this inner tie is slightly trimmer because you have more ability to customize how tight it is around the baby's waist. So with the snaps, you're relying on the factory placed snaps for how tight it can go at the waist and how loose it can go at the waist. Whereas with the ties, it's more up to you. It's how tight you tie it or how loose you tie it. So you have a little more control. So I would say in terms of trimness, I don't think there's a huge difference between the two, but maybe this would be a little trimmer on a newborn because of the ability to customize. All right, next question is, are they tight enough to avoid leaks and blowouts? So our definition of a leak or a blowout is when the pee or the poop escapes both the inner and the outer. That is considered a leak or a blowout, and that should not happen with either our inner snap with outer or inner tie with outer. So both of these were designed to be leak and blowout proof when used with an outer. But if you're asking about leaks where the pee or the poop namely, escapes the inner and gets onto the inside of the outer, you can expect more of that with the inner tie. So the inner tie is kind of more designed like a pre-fold diaper. So for those of you who have experience with that, a pre-fold diaper that gets folded on the baby and closed with a snappy or with pins. You don't have a lot of tension at the legs with a pre-fold, it's just wide open. This is an improvement over that because we had the built-in, like that's one of the patent pending design features, is that we put this rim of elastic in at the legs so that you get more containment at both the back waist and the legs than you would with a pre-fold or a flat diaper, or like a contour or a pre-flat. So this gives you more leg and waist protection, similar to what you would get with a fitted diaper like our snap. But because the inner snaps have this ruffle here, they do an even better job about keeping the poop contained inside the inner, so you have less incidence of the poop escaping the inner and getting onto the inside of the outer. So if you're looking to have as few outers in rotation as possible and the least amount of poop escaping the inner and getting onto the outer, then the inner snap is the way to go. If you're like, whatever, the outer is part of the diaper, I don't care if I have to wash them more often or I have more outers in rotation, then the inner tie will be totally good. So again, the rim of elastic that we have here around the legs and the waist will help keep things contained in the inner more so than you would get from a pre-fold or a flat or a contour or a pre-flat, but it will not be as much containment protection as the inner snap. Are they as absorbent as inner snaps? Great question. We've been getting this one all week. Yes. So the structure, like the makeup of the two diapers is different. The inner snap is made of 14 layers of very thin organic cotton twill, whereas this is made of 2 layers, and then in the center P zone where everything folds in, you have 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 8 layers of much thicker cotton French terry. So it is the same total GSM so if you like were to weigh both of these, they have the same overall weight in cotton. So that is what affects the absorbency. But the actual makeup of how it gets to that GSM is different between the two. So same level of absorbency between these two diapers. You're not choosing one or the other based on one being more absorbent than the other, but the way that you get to that absorbency is slightly different for the two. What is it like to scrape poop off since it's a flap? Okay, this is a great opportunity to talk about when you have to remove poop before washing. So affects both styles of diaper. When your baby is on a milk only diet, whether that's breast milk or formula, there's no poop removal that you have to do before you wash. You simply take the poopy diapers off of your baby, throw them in your Pel pouch to be laundered every 2 to 3 days when you do your diaper wash. Once your baby starts eating solid foods, you're going to notice a change in the consistency of the poop from that liquidy newborn poop that you've become accustomed to a thicker, pastier poop. It's at that time that you want to remove the poop from the diaper, the bulk of it at least, before you throw them in the washer. So the best way to do that are actually our tossers liners. They're really like tissue thin. I don't have a set here, but they're tissue thin liners that you just simply lay over. So like if this is your diaper, you would just lay a tosser right here, put the diaper on the baby. The tosser catches the solid waste, but allows the liquid to pass through and be absorbed by the diaper. And then when the diaper is soiled, you simply lift the tosser off and discard it, and then you wash the diaper as usual. If you're not using a tosser, just take the diaper off the baby like this. And if you grab up here in the front piece of the diaper, you're holding that center flap, as opposed to if you grab from the back, the flap will open. So grab it from the front and then just shake it over the toilet, and the poop should just roll right off. It starts to roll more as the babies get older and eat more and more solid foods and less milk. So we find the tossers liners are particularly helpful in the first year. So like once you start solids around 4 to 6 months, and through that first year, usually once they're around 12 months, they start to decrease the amount of milk that they're taking in and increase the amount of solid foods. And when that happens, the poop firms up even more. It makes it easy to shake off even without a tosser. So I wouldn't say there's that much of a difference in poop removal between the inner tie or the inner snap. I will say that the inner snaps, when you have a baby that's on a milk-only diet, the inners are stitched in the middle here, and we have gotten some feedback that the liquidy newborn poop can get stuck in the stitching a little bit, making it harder to get out. Sometimes it leaves like a little yellow mark here. So our stay dry liners are a really great way if your baby is prone to that. The stay dry liners are a piece of recycled fleece. They add an extra layer of moisture wicking, and they're a really nice way to prevent stains or prevent any poop from getting in the stitching. So if you're having that problem with our inner snaps, the stay dry liners are a really great way to avoid that. With the inner ties, this is perfectly flat. There's no stitch marks here, so you won't have to worry about that. Okay, do inner ties dry faster, and are they less prone to mold? Inner ties are the fastest drying natural fiber diaper out there. So when you look at them, when they open up like this, it's just like a sheet of cotton, similar to like a flat diaper or even like a dishcloth. So when you throw these in the dryer, they dry lightning fast, like under 30 minutes. So really, really fast. These take much longer to dry. You've got all the layers stitched together. You've got elastic binding it. So these are a dryer hog, whereas these dry really, really, really fast. Are they less prone to mold? Mold really shouldn't be an issue. So as long as, if you're spraying your diapers with a diaper sprayer, once the baby starts solid food, some people opt for a diaper sprayer. I won't go too much into that. But if you're soaking your diapers down with water and then throwing them in your pail, you're opening up the invitation for mold to grow, regardless of what type of diaper, what style of diaper you're using. If you live in a really, really humid environment, it is helpful to make sure that your pail gets some air circulation, so don't pack your diapers in there really tight. If you, what are some other mold solutions? Yeah, just letting it, air is the best way to prevent mold, and packing things really tight with little air circulation or packing them in plastic is a surefire way to breed mold. So you want to avoid the diaper spraying for mold prevention, because that's introducing water. If you're simply taking PPP diapers off your baby and throwing them in your pail, the acidity of the pee will prevent the mold growth. It's only once you start diluting that with lots and lots of water that you're inviting mold. So yes, they dry faster. I don't really think they're much less prone to mold. The only way I would say that is maybe if you're putting these away and they're not fully dry, then that would be a way to grow mold, but and that would be less of an issue with the inner ties since they dry so much faster. I use a portable washing machine because I don't have a regular washer. Which are better for me, inner tie or inner snap? Inner tie all the way. We actually don't really recommend hand washing or using a portable washer with our inner snaps or with most other diapers out there. It's just not powerful enough in terms of agitation and mechanical action and water to fully clean when you have something very, very thick that's drenched in pee and poop and bacteria and ammonia. So with this is much easier. If you do have to hand wash in a pinch or you are relying on a portable washer, this would be the best way to go. It's much easier to get clean because everything opens up flat, so you're really able to the detergent and the water is able to easily access all of the surface points of the diaper without needing like really intense mechanical action. Okay. Do you have plans to make these diapers GOTS certified? So GOTS is tricky. All of our cotton that we source is GOTS certified. So we only buy GOTS certified organic unbleached cotton. But GOTS, in order to get a GOTS certification on your actual product, every step of the production and storage, warehousing, and shipping has to be GOTS certified. And we're working on it. It's not a huge priority for us, I have to be honest. It's a very expensive process, and our warehouse in Salt Lake City in Utah is not GOTS certified, so we'd have to get them GOTS certified, which again is it's a big undertaking. So you can rest assured that all of the cotton that we use is GOTS certified unbleached organic cotton, but that the actual entire process, unfortunately, is not GOTS certified. When will inner ties be available on Amazon US and Amazon Canada? We're aiming for October, November. It takes a little longer for us to get things going on Amazon than it does on our site. We also, as a small business, we only have so much money that we can invest in new inventory for new products until we know how they're gonna perform. So we always take that risk first on our site. And then if things are going well, which I have to say in the past week, they're going extremely well. We're definitely outselling our inner ties faster than we thought we would. Are we at risk of selling out? Potentially. So if inner ties are something that you are interested in, I recommend jumping on it pretty quick because I cannot promise that we won't sell out before we receive our second order. They are definitely selling faster than we thought they would. So we're working on an order that's going to go direct to Amazon US and Amazon Canada, and those should be up there, I would say, by October or November. In the meantime, you can get them off our site. And we are, for our Canadian customers, we are working on getting an order out to Cloth Diaper Kids in Canada. So they should have those by June. So that our Canadian friends can get them there. So I hope that's helpful. Oh, the other question we often get, are you getting rid of your inner snaps? The answer is absolutely not. We wanted to introduce another option of inner. So for people who are not that into the snaps or are just looking for something different, you have the inner tie, but the snaps are not going anywhere. So thank you for giving it a shot. This has been something that we've been working on for about 18 months, 6 months of testing and a year of developing and prototyping. We're really, really excited about it. We do have a first round. Our first patent is looking pretty good that we might get approval on it. So we're really excited about this new design. It's something that we feel like you can read the blog post on how the design idea came about. But thank you for supporting us and for taking a chance on them. For this weekend, for Memorial Day weekend, we are doing a promotion. So buy a 3-pack of inner tie or inner snap and get an inner snap single for free. So you basically get 1 free diaper for every 3 that you buy. So thank you again. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to email us at hi@esemblybaby.com or drop the question into social, into a DM or on a post, and we will answer it. And we're happy to do another update like this in the future if needed. All right, thank you.